Welcome back. You're tuning into Financial Fitness Northwest live on 1150 KKNW, where we help you navigate the mortgage and real estate market with expert advice from knowledgeable and trustworthy industry professionals. And now in studio, we have Coco Carino Groth, realtor with Sotheby's International Real Estate. Coco has worked with exceptional brands like Nordstrom's for over 17 years and has been in real estate for 16 years, currently with Coldwell Banker Bain. Coco has attributed her success.
She works at Sotheby's.
Oh, I'm sorry. Prior to. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for butting right in, Sarah.
Yeah, I just want to keep it straight right there, you know.
Yeah. So where was I? Coco has attributed her success to keeping her clients' best interests in mind. She has won multiple awards for her hard work and dedication, and including International President's Club Award. Coco worked with Murray Franklin, a leading builder in quality and innovative homes on the East Side, for 10 years. She specializes in new construction for most of her real estate career, selling anything from cozy condos to multi-million-dollar homes in DuPont, Tacoma, Redmond, and Sammamish, and also Snoqualmie Ridge. Coco is bringing her extensive expertise to the housing market, to Marketplace Sotheby's International Realty, where she currently works. When Coco is not busy making clients happy, she's spending time with family. So welcome.
Welcome, Coco.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
We're so glad you're here. And so I met you, and I know, but you didn't have this in your bio, but you are a husband-wife team.
I am a husband and wife unofficial team.
Oh, you're unofficial? Well, I just made it official on the air.
Well, it's official.
It's official now.
We work together.
You work together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you both work at Sotheby's. We could say that.
We both work for Marketplace Sotheby's in Redmond, and just recently joined them this spring. So it comes in handy because you get two for the price of one.
Yeah, I like that.
So why the move? What was the attraction to go there?
You know, we were both loved where we were with Coldwell Banker Bain, and we had lunch with someone we highly respect that said, you guys should go talk to this. You do a lot of upper end real estate and a lot of golf course and multi-million-dollar product, and said their marketing is out of this world. Their exposure is out of this world. So we went and met with them and loved them, and there we went.
It was
Here
true.
we are.
It was all true.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Well, and you guys are located out on Snoqualmie Ridge, right?
We are.
Yeah.
We have been there over 15 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, so what can you share with us? You know, give us a little bit of your thoughts of the current inventory, you know, new construction versus resale.
Well, the inventory is exceptionally low and has been for the last few years. And what is happening with this is sellers have nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. And so what's happening, so when you look at, you know, in a normal market, you'd sell your home and buy the house that's listed on the market. And when the inventory is at record low, for example, in Snoqualmie Ridge right now, where we live and where I do specialize, we have 25 homes available for sale.
Wow.
And there's over 5,000 homes in Snoqualmie Ridge. And so you look at that and you compare, and for the most part, that is aside from 3 or 4 homes for new construction, it is resale because we just have one builder left up there. And when Pulte is out of there, that's it.
Mm-hmm. There's no more land.
There's no more land. The build out is complete.
What about infill? Do you see any infill happening? No.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What about old Snoqualmie?
Old Snoqualmie is coming along, but it's going to go North Bend. So it'll go. North Bend is growing. Builders are coming back in there. They had a water moratorium for a handful of years that was lifted a few years ago, and so you're getting builders back out there, which is helping that.
I like old Snoqualmie.
That.
So
it's charming.
It's cute down there.
It is. It's charming. I love it.
Yeah, it is very cute. So just to give a little perspective, what would be in a normal market? How many homes should be?
There should
on
be,
the market.
Well, in the peak of the market in 2007, before it all changed, there were 120 homes. And when you look at 120 homes where there was probably 3,000
Even
homes.
less.
Right. So
Right.
there was less
Right.
homes available. And so we are just, for the most part, in most price points, it still remains a seller's market.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear the big numbers, but it's kind of nice to zero in on one specific neighbor, area
Yeah.
and think about just like the impact of just that area.
Right. Well,
Right.
I mean, and even when you look at in Issaquah and Sammamish, so they're considerably larger areas, and Issaquah there's just over 100 homes for sale, and Sammamish is about 150. So it's just tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's tight.
So, do you focus more? I know there's a lot of well, not a lot, but it was a lot of new construction on Snoqualmie Ridge. So are you more focused in new construction or resale, or are you split between both?
I've been, as mentioned, I worked with, I started with my family. My family built new construction down in the Tacoma area.
Okay.
And so that was how I got into it after I left Nordstrom. And so that just has always worked out. And I was at one of my daughter's baseball games in 2005, 2006, and they're like, you should start working in Snoqualmie Ridge. And that was where I was able to start working with Murray Franklin.
Okay.
And so that's where it made sense. That was where I was born and raised. My dad was is a builder. My brothers still are. And so that was kind of just that good passion that came into that. But for the last year and a half, it's been great because now I'm just a regular real estate agent, not sitting a new construction site, which is fun. So I get to do all of the above
Yeah.
and really enjoy it. I enjoy the process of working with a client with new construction where they get to go from dirt up. And that's, educating them on that process and being able to suggest, hey, take a picture of this wall with all your electrical and all of your plumbing, and you get to create a little book. And then if you go to sell, you can pass that on to your new buyer to say, hey, look, in case you ever want to remodel or do anything, this is what's behind that wall. So there's
that's
a
a good
lot
idea.
of fun little things that you forget about that you wouldn't get to do with a finished home.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
That is interesting.
Ready to build?
Yeah. No.
So are you seeing more first-time buyers now, or are you seeing more move-up? I mean,
Well, the first-time home buyer, obviously their price point has dramatically increased.
Yep.
And so that first-time home buyer, spring market is tough for them. It's, within real estate, I'm sure you guys obviously reflect this too. That spring market comes out strong and crazy. In the past few years, it's been multiple offers. And so what can happen with that first-time home buyer is, unless they're comfortable waiving so many things that are so important that we do not ever encourage anybody to waive, financing and inspection contingencies, it can be tough for the first-time home buyer.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of it is either that move-up buyer or that empty nester that's really driving right now, and a lot of relocation. Thank
Yeah.
God for the big companies we have in the Puget Sound area because they keep bringing them in.
Yeah, I know. We've talked
I
about
guess.
that on previous shows, just the number of people that come into our area, like weekly, like 1,000 people a week move
Yep.
here.
1,000.
So it's like
With nowhere to move to.
with nowhere to
Yeah.
live, right?
Yeah. And nothing to buy because there's nothing for sale.
Nothing for sale.
No.
Right.
So what would you say is, one of the most important things that a first-time home buyer or move-up buyer should be asking when they start searching for their home?
One thing I love to really just sit down and do, what is important? For the first-time home buyer, how long do you plan on living in this home? Is this, you're going to just live in here, you're going to have kids in this house and stay here for 10 to 20 years? Or is this going to be a stepping stone and you're just going to live here for a few years, build up some equity, and then move up into your next? So I think it's really important for them to look at that. And if it is that first-time home buyer and it is, their initial purchase that not for a long-term ownership, then we might be able to push them out of where they think they want to live, and they could get a little bit more for their money.
Mm-hmm.
And move-up buyers tend to be driven by schools. If there's children, usually it's like, okay, there's more kids, or the kids just have their friends over, I need more space. And so the move-up buyer can typically be driven by the schools in the area and or commute to work.
Yeah.
Is what we find the most in that.
Do you find that some move-up buyers are, they've lived in their house for a while and then they have like a really specific home they want to move to like make them move,
Similar to what you want to do next.
I'm just saying, I feel like maybe that could be the case for other people.
There can be very specific things, from either how much yard they do or do not want to, do they need, I will laugh with clients that will walk into a house that can have 9 out of 10 perfect things for them in the home, but there's not a room for their piano.
Oh. And that's a deal breaker.
And it can just end it right there. And so you do get to smile and just listen and with a smile say, okay, well, how important is that piece of furniture or that piano? Are you really going to not buy because of something like that?
Yeah.
But a lot of times, it can be, want more yard, want less yard.
Mm-hmm.
Want a big bonus room for the movie theater, for the surround sound, things like that.
I just feel like sometimes first-time homebuyers are a little bit more, they're just excited to get into a home and they settle, or they're making sacrifices on what they really want, but they don't really necessarily always know what they really want. And then as your family grows and you grow into what you like to spend your time doing, then your desire for your next house changes a lot. And so sometimes it can be sort of specific of what you need, but it's hard in this market with there not being a lot of houses to find that, which is why we have short inventory, because a lot of move-up buyers aren't moving up.
Nobody's moving up.
Yeah.
I met a gal this weekend at an open house and empty nester. And I go, where are you going to go? She goes, I don't know. So,
That's courageous.
Yeah. It's, it's an interesting time.
Yep, it
Yeah.
is.
Interesting time.
So, switching gears to sellers, do you feel that there's a wrong way or a right way to price in this market with their properties?
I think there's always a right and a wrong way to, and I think it comes back to educating your client, to really looking at what the comps are for their particular home. And sometimes it can be, well, no, price per square foot, and that can skew an actual value of a home. And you really have to be sure you're comparing apples to apples. Am I comparing new construction with new construction? Am I comparing a home with a lot of land to a home that doesn't have a lot of land? And so in this market, there is room to push on price because of limited and inventory. And so we are seeing that. And I think it just also comes to the coaching with your client that, the buyer's going to tell us, are we at our own party here with this price? And, with no showings, or, or are we going to knock it out of the ballpark? And that if I had a crystal ball, we'd all, could be millionaires here. And, but, the good news is it just takes one person to fall in love with that house.
Yeah.
And hopefully that one person comes sooner than later.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in this market.
Especially in this
Feels
market.
like if it's on the market for too long, there must be something wrong. It's been
Exactly.
2 weeks.
And
What the heck?
I was
Yeah.
going to say too long is like a week. What's
Yeah.
happening? Yeah.
It's changing a little bit.
Yeah.
This time of year will typically,
Soften a little
it'll
bit.
quiet, it'll
Right.
normalize, and then it will ramp up in January again.
Do you think
And,
that's sort of hard for sellers though, because they're thinking, oh, I can get this huge amount for my house because they're in tune with the market, they think, and so they say, oh, this is worth this much. But it is all about timing, right? And we're in the winter months now, and so not as many people are driven to move in December. Although I feel like everybody should.
Yeah.
It's a great time to buy a house.
Yeah,
That's when I bought
it
mine.
is. Yeah.
So, but are you seeing that people are trying to price too high for the current situation?
It can happen. Yeah, it can happen. And there's, another, mindset is this what your home's worth? Maybe. But keep in mind, there might not be 10 people out there at this time for your home. There
Right.
might just be one, maybe two people out there. So that's also part of the coaching. Well, what do you mean? Shouldn't I have 5 offers in 5 days? And that it's just the amount of buyers during this time are fewer.
Right.
And so it doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means that you just have a fewer buyer. It's just like when you price a home, over $1 million, if there's 10 buyers out there in the market, there's probably only a few. Well, now it's probably more because the price points are higher.
Yeah.
But, you can break it down to, if there's 10 buyers, there's maybe only 3 out of that 10 that would go over $1 million. So
Right.
it's just educating that whole process.
And then property specific too, right? I mean, some people, maybe their property's a little bit unique or whatever, so you have to consider.
Updated, not updated.
Yeah, does someone want to take on a remodel project or
Right.
not? So all those variables.
All
So
those variables.
do you work on staging with your clients? Do you help them stage the house, or you feel that's important?
It's very important, and I have a professional stager that we bring in, and I use my husband has a great line, and that we walk to the front door and we say, your ego stays here, and this is how we transform your house to sell it, not for you to live in it. But it is really important just to get, an independent eye to come out and just remove certain things that may be too personal and where you really want your exposure to be to everybody and not limited, by some decor that could be in the home. And less is always better in the home. And so the gal that we have used for years can either work with our clients' existing furniture in the home, or if it works out that, hey, they're out and we're going to stage it, then we could also fully stage a home.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, well, we only have a little bit of time left. See? Flew right by. You have so much great information to share with us. What would you say is one thing that you would like to leave people with? Maybe about community trends that are going on right now, or?
I think that for buyers and sellers out there, one thing to really sit down with a real estate professional and what is important to you. Where do you want to go? When do you want to go? And what's happening in the area that can help the value of your home? And, how are your school systems? Are there new bus systems? What is your commute into Redmond and into Seattle when we look at our large employers in the area? And, and don't give up, really just sit down and make a plan and stick with it. But, trust your real estate professionals.
Yes.
And your lenders.
I like that.
I like
Trust
that
your
too.
real estate professionals.
I like that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Coco. It was great having you
Yes,
here.
it was.
Thank you both. This was
Appreciate
great.
it. Thanks for tuning in to Financial Fitness Northwest. When we come back from the break, we will be chatting with Christine Moreland and Jeff Lancott of the More Love Project. To find out more topics discussed on our show today, find us online at www.financialfitnessnw.com.